Good morning, Rabbi.
Good morning, Joe.
Glad to see you're staying warm in the snow.
Yes, I'm here with my little friend.
I was wondering about fame. So much of our society is oriented around trying to be famous, to gain recognition. And people always talk about the good and bad sides of being famous. Actors say they can't go to the grocery store without being harassed. Um, Other people say, all I really want in life is to be famous and sign autographs and be recognized. And it's not just in the arts. Artists always want to be popular, some more than others. I have friends who shun fame and exposure, but they pursue their art very avidly. And uh, politicians, there are some people who work very studiously to do good, and there are others who jump in front of the camera every time they hear the little red light go on. What is it about fame that drives us so?
We all have an ego, the self, and we want to be recognized, would like to be acknowledged. And the larger the audience, we would think would feel better, would be happier. And so we crave fame. There's nothing wrong with having a desire or a craving. In fact, it's very human. We want to take a look at what those cravings do to us. Where do they lead us? What does it do to our lives? And as you're pointing out, there are sports figures, there are actors, there are politicians, there are cartoonists, there are rabbis, and we all would like to be famous. That's just being human, would like to be famous. Now, we want to stop and say, okay, what do I want to do to be famous? Or what do I have to do? And will my choices be good or they be destructive? And I keep coming back to being a human being and what's normal or natural. If we look at social media, that provides an opportunity to feed our ego. It's really neat. We do presentations. We listen to TED Talks. We go to TikTok. We go to YouTube. We listen to podcasts. There's all kinds of ways for individuals, and it's very democratic. It's open to all of us, and we can go on Facebook. So no one's excluded unless what we're promoting is hurtful, lying, harmful. And that's where, as an individual, we have to stop and say, my promoting myself, what is it doing to me, to society, or to my family? How harmful is my seeking fame? So there's nothing wrong with wanting to be famous. There's nothing wrong with any feeling, emotion, or thought. It's part of our own ego. It requires us to stop and go, wait a minute. If I want fame that badly, look at what it's doing. Look at what it's doing all around me.
I look at the 10,000 pictures of what people ordered for dinner and they're posting it on TikTok or Facebook. Uh, that's neither good nor bad. That's just a little tedious. But we want people to know about us. Do we want people to say, here I am? Is that ego, or is that just a desire to exist or recognize beyond our own self definition?
That's ego. That's the self. And there's really nothing wrong. If you want to post what you ate for dinner, you want to post getting on the airplane, getting off on the boat, at the pool. And if I want to follow and I get pleasure on Facebook from looking at some pictures of you on vacation or some pictures on TikTok, and if I don't want to, I can skip over them, cars collapsing, airplanes flying. If I'm entertained, I'm entertained. And the person putting it on, if they're happy with that, if it supports, they go, oh, look, I'm famous. I posted these things on TikTok. I have a following. If it's not destructive or harmful or embarrassing, sure. It has neither, as you said, it's really neutral. It's neither a good side or the dark side. It's neither one. Part of the problem with the dark side is that the media, and I don't mean just social media, I mean television, radio, they crave, they'll set up the cameras, the satellite dishes, and broadcast an event hours, and there's nothing to show for it. And that's feeding the dark side of the individual seeking attention. And there's no way we're going to stop that because the networks think they're going to get sponsors and make money because people want to see that. Well, we don't want to see that. Just tell the news. These people were taken hostage. The hostage negotiators have been called in. The FBI is working on it. We'll get back to you when we have some news instead of putting it on 24/7. And then the person committing the act has a TV and they go, look, I'm famous. Ooh, I'm going to threaten to shoot a hostage, and then they'll put me more on more TV. I'll get more coverage. So by having the coverage, we're feeding something that's very bad. There's a difference between reporting the news and sensationalizing the news or using it to put forth a political position. That's not news. That's like a infomercial whose goal is to
So,
sell a product.
so how do we pull back from that? What does the Torah say about this? Is there some way we can look at social media and say, I don't have to take a selfie every 5 minutes. I can wait and pare it down to once a week.
Well,
Or
I think, yeah, the teaching from Judaism, from Islam, from every place is moderation, is what does that do to you? And it requires self-inventory. My obsession with taking pictures, I don't enjoy dinner because I'm too busy taking pictures. I don't enjoy the vacation because I'm too busy staging things to make people jealous. Well, you have to stop and go, no, none of our religions promote that. That's not healthy, not the act, but what it's doing to you, where you're leading with it. And then the example for your own family, for your own friends. And now we have social media so that it's a much larger scale for more of us. You know, Joe, with our podcasts, we now have listeners in India, in Germany, in Antigua, in Poland, in Russia, the United Kingdom, Canada, and the United States. How many years ago was that not possible? Okay, it's kind of neat. I don't know how famous we really are, but it's kind of a neat thought to think that we're talking and getting a message, not doing any harm. It's not taking us away from our daily activities. We're not neglecting our families. So it's okay.
and as you point out, it's our motivation isn't to get attention, but to share wisdom, or at least that's my intention, because I think your wisdom is worth sharing, Rabbi. Thank you again, as always.
You're very welcome. And we thank you, Joe.